Good morning and welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning on this really nasty morning. But we'll get into the weather in a second. I want to talk about your traffic, which is being affected by the weather. It is a nasty day. So, again, appreciate you guys joining us this morning. If you're watching this live, thank you for that. If you are watching this later, we do upload these shows to www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. It is a free page for you to check out. And of course, we have audio and video versions there for you to see. Getting into your traffic this morning, as we said, it is being affected by the weather in a pretty bad way. 10-12 split, major backups almost to Airline. You're also looking at an accident on I-12 near O'Neill. It's caused backups past Pete's Highway at this point, approaching Jubin. You're also looking at delays on the on-ramps getting onto I-12. So far, not too bad on 190 on the surface streets. You're looking at minor delays at 4-H Club Road, River Road, and 190. Still probably your best bet this morning with that major backup going on I-12. Also looking at some delays on 64 heading into Central. Also some delays, excuse me, sorry. Also some delays at Dunn and Lockhart. So the rain's kind of mixed up that new traffic circle, roundabout, whatever you want to call it. But people are still learning to navigate that. So again, please remember, an accident on I-12 near O'Neill. Please try to find another route. It's currently 76 degrees. 90 degrees is your high today. So it is going to get warm right about 10 a.m. Sometime between 9 and 10. This weather is going to clear out. It's going to be a cloudy, sunshiny day for most of the day. Picking up some evening showers right around 6 or 7 p.m. It's going to drop the temperature, so you're actually looking at a low of 66 tonight. So again, it's currently 76 degrees. 90 degrees is your high. 66 your overnight low. Yesterday, actually it began Monday and then kind of flowed into yesterday. Walker Police Chief David Addison said that he is no longer going to tolerate chokeholds from his officers or any kind of action. I guess you can say that, excuse me, any kind of action that would restrict breathing of a perpetrator, especially once a suspect is in handcuffs. The only thing that will be tolerated by the Walker Police Department is placing that suspect in a police unit. According to Police Chief David Addison, he has communicated this to his officers, both verbally and via email. So that's a policy change on the heels of the George Floyd incident in Minneapolis, trying to, change policies as things, protests and changes occur to police departments across the nation. So that's one thing that's happening right here in your backyard in Walker. Good morning, Miss Mika Lee White. How are you today? The legislature is, of course, in the middle of their special session. They are going to try again on those legal reforms that are mostly focused on car insurance. These are things like a minimum reduction of 10% of car insurance rates in Louisiana, combined with reducing the minimum threshold for a jury trial, and also combining that with, excuse me, there was one other thing. It was an omnibus bill that was designed to try to address this sort of circular deal that goes on in traffic courts, wherein you could sue the person that you ran into. Let's try again. The person that had been injured in any kind of accident or was the victim of an accident could end up suing someone. A lot of these lawyers, especially those that you see with the big billboards, had connections with the judges and therefore could, I guess you could say, according to some, create this sort of, well, we'll sue them for up to $49,000, with the jury threshold being $50,000, and these things just roll through the court system and just $49,000 payments come out. It's kind of interesting. They're trying to work on that. I now remember what one of the other parts was. So again, a minimum 10% reduction in across the board in auto insurance rates. An auto insurance company would have to go to the Secretary of Insurance, Tim Donnellan. There it is. Having a little trouble this morning. To Tim Donnellan and request via paperwork and showing evidence that they not have to do that because they would lose money. So it'll be interesting to see what that process looks like. Reducing the jury trial threshold, they wanted to reduce it to 5,000. That got bumped up to 15,000 in some amendments, and we'll talk about that in just a second. And finally, they wanted to make it so that you could subrogate to an insurance company. Right now, you sue the individual and the insurance company, and there's you're pulling from both without the ability to subrogate. So sometimes people end up double paying. So there was a lot of different things mixed in there. The reason it did not pass the first time is that it left the Senate on a veto-proof vote, ended up in the House, got a lot of amendments attached to it, sort of changed the nature of the beast, did not pass with a veto-proof, or really didn't get off the floor at all. So they're going to try again. So especially with all those amendments attached to it, they didn't. The legislature had, I guess you can call it some remorse, some buyer's remorse on that one. So they're going to try that again. They have already rebooted the process. It is in the Senate. We'll see if it comes back out on a veto-proof vote. Yesterday, Mr. Rob DeArmond, our sports editor here, visited Denham Springs High School and Walker High School to kind of get a feel for how they were getting back to business in terms of football. Those practices opened up yesterday. I'm not entirely sure what happened to them today. I suppose it is football. You can get out there in the rain. Of course, we had these nasty storms this morning. Good morning, Miss Karen. And so he got out there, got in touch with these guys. According to the new Denham Springs High School coach, Brett Beard, kind of felt like Christmas. According to those folks over at Walker, it was just a good day to get out there and play some football. So I know a lot of those kids are just excited to see their friends, all of them in one place at one time and get back out there on the football field again. Football practice began yesterday. Getting into your coronavirus statistics for today, 43,612 cases, 2,844 deaths, 33,904 have recovered, 453,000 tests have been performed, so trying to get up to that 200,000 tests per month mark. Well on our way here in June. 568 hospitalized on 67 ventilators. In Livingston Parish, 481 cases, 31 deaths on 7,500 tests. Now, the governor will speak this afternoon at 2:30. Probably not going to hear a whole lot from him. In fact, one of the things the governor has said is that he intends to reduce the number of press conferences that he will perform from 3. At first, they were every day, including some weekends. Then they went to 3, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now he's intending to reduce them to just 1, usually on Monday. So that'll start next week. For this week, it looks like we're going to get one today. Don't think we're going to get one on Friday. There's just not much to say. Of course, we are barreling towards phase 3, hopefully. It's a 3-week period in between phase 2 and phase 3. 2 weeks for data gathering with a week to prepare. So he will announce phase 3 on that Monday, and then there's a week to prepare for phase 3 to begin on that Friday. So we're kind of waiting for that. Got our fingers crossed. I know for graduations, the school system is definitely got their fingers crossed for phase 3. That's going to make those a lot easier to perform later on in the week. A little bit of confusing information came out Monday from the World Health Organization. They came out and said asymptomatic transfer is rare. Now, of course, we've talked a lot about asymptomatic people. In fact, most people with COVID-19 tend to be asymptomatic. But the idea was they could still transfer the virus. Well, Monday, the World Health Organization says that's rare. On Tuesday, they said, well, not really. So the exact term that they used was that we don't have a change in policy. It's just right now we think it might be rare. We still recommend that you wear your masks, keep your hands washed and that kind of thing. We're just not really sure if that is the case or not. So not really sure why they made the announcement. What it kind of looks like is maybe a scientist gone rogue or something like that. But it's going to be interesting to see where they land going forward. If they end up going with the asymptomatic transfer is rare, which would be a great sign and a great piece of new news. Now, they were concerned, I guess you can say, about, there's a lot of new information, which is on Tuesday kind of how they couched that walk back on the statement from Monday. A lot of new information. It is a new virus, so they're still trying to figure some things out. But again, they did say on Monday that asymptomatic transfer is rare, which is a great sign. Let's hope that it is true. But on Tuesday, they did back that statement up and say not enough information is available yet to say that we want to end those mitigation efforts or try to get off what is current policy. So it was very confusing, very much a back and forth. So we'll see what the World Health Organization has to say over the next couple of weeks. But again, on Monday said that asymptomatic transfer is rare. On Tuesday, backed that statement up and said, we think, not entirely sure, not enough data yet. Really recommend that you continue to follow mitigation efforts. An interesting story leading up to COVID-19. There's well over $1 trillion in credit card debt here in the United States. Last year, $76 billion of new credit card debt was issued net during the year. However, consumers were on track heading into COVID-19 for the biggest debt pay down since 1986 in terms of percentage. $60 billion in credit card debt had been paid down by United States citizens in that first quarter of 2020. Unfortunately, COVID-19 hit and erased a lot of that. Not all of it, but a lot of it. Livingston Parish was in the 52nd percentile, which means that out of the higher you are in the percentile, probably the more you ended up paying off. So Livingston Parish was just about average on those debt pay downs. So kind of an interesting deal there financially. Unfortunately, COVID-19 made it difficult to keep that trend up. But again, through the first quarter, $60 billion paid down in credit card debt. Unfortunately, after COVID, it looks like those are back on the upswing. In Maurepas, a photographer has tried to help out seniors in need because, as she says, and she is correct, they have been through a lot. Of course, these seniors, as we've discussed, they were born in and around 9/11 or September 11th, 2001, for those of you who don't know what that means. And when they were freshmen, it flooded. And now when they're seniors, there's a pandemic. So Miss Jody Vicknair agreed to start offering cap and gown pictures and photo sets for seniors for free. She said she wanted to just give back to the community as best she could. She knew, again, that these seniors had been through a lot and deserved, I guess you can say, a little special treatment. So thank you to Miss Jody Vicknair for helping these seniors kind of feel a little normal as they head out the door and head into regular life. Want to talk real quick again about these coronavirus statistics. 43,612 cases in Louisiana, 2,844 deaths, 33,904 have recovered, 453,000 tests, 568 hospitalized on 67 ventilators. In Livingston Parish, 481 cases, 31 deaths on 7,500 tests. For those mitigation efforts, please remember to wash your hands for 20 seconds or more with soap and water. Disinfect common surfaces at home and at the office. Wear a mask if at all possible. Don't touch your face. Control your sneezing and a cough with a tissue or your elbow. 6 feet of distance or more between yourself and others. 25 or less to a gathering. Stay home if you're sick and utilize telehealth to get in touch with your doctor. And stay home to work if at all possible. Want to remind folks, yesterday I got a little confused. There was an ordinance committee meeting yesterday. I was correct about that. And there is a council meeting this Thursday, parish council. So we'll be looking forward to kind of walking through that agenda tomorrow morning before the council meeting in the evening. City Council of Denham Springs met last night. Do want to let folks know that change, I guess you can say, that happened on Veterans Avenue or Boulevard in Denham Springs, wherein some of the median was filled in, was because as an engineer was going through there to do drainage work, they did notice and report to DOTD that many people were going the wrong way down Veterans. Of course, it is separated and there are one-way streets on both sides of the median, and people were taking a left to go around and turn around elsewhere, taking a left to keep going down. They'd pass over when they got to the next turning lane. So they identified those areas, sealed up several turnaround spots, and have now had turnaround spots placed far away from businesses. So there were some people on Veterans who were a little upset about that, but that is the the new setup, I guess you can say, courtesy of the engineering firm that had been working on drainage in the area and the Department of Transportation and Development. Getting into that traffic one more time, please remember there are heavy delays at the 10-12 split. Heading into Baton Rouge, of course, there is an accident on I-12 near O'Neill. It has traffic backed up to Pete's Highway. Actually, past Pete's Highway, almost to Juban at this point. You're looking at delays at Juban and 190, as well as delays on the on-ramps getting on I-12. Delays at 64 heading into Central, which are minor, and still minor delays at 4-H Club Road, River Road, and 190. That may be your best bet. Of course, it is a nasty morning. You're looking for that to clear out between 9 and 10 a.m. It's going to get hot today. It's currently 76 degrees. 90 degrees is your high. 66 degrees, your overnight low. So you are going to see some rain coming in around 6, 7 o'clock this evening. It's going to cool those temperatures down. One last time, my name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning for the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. We're on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We are once a week in print on Thursdays. That's $7 a month. We are online at www.livingstonparishnews.com. We do have a podcast page where we put these shows, audio and video versions. We also have a coronavirus page that has all the coronavirus information you could possibly want. It is free, and we do appreciate you guys going through there. Also appreciate you watching this show. If you're watching live or listening later or watching later, appreciate it all. Very much so, actually. Thank you for watching. I want to let folks know there will be no show on Friday as I will be out of town, but I will be back in the booth Monday, and of course we will have a show tomorrow, probably talking a lot about parish council. So stay dry this morning, try to avoid the interstate if at all possible, and we will see you tomorrow morning.